Mic check one, two. Mic check one, two. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Magnus Arena here tonight. It is the home opener for DU as the Pioneers take on the Colorado Buffaloes. Brendan Price here with you on this Friday evening from a beautiful Magnus Arena. These two teams met 4 times last year. DU unable to find the win column, but it's a new year, a new group, and the Pioneers ready to go here tonight against the Buffaloes as we take a look at the starting lineups here tonight for these two teams. And you look up front for these two sides. Colorado, Mia Faselli, Natalie Ewald, and Anna Masiello. The Pioneers with Gabby Hardy and Allie Chisdak. On defense, Gabby Mansour and Reese Olson will get the start tonight for the home side. Lindsay Taylor and Zoe Watson. The goaltending matchup between these two teams. We mentioned that this is a brand new season here tonight. Both the teams just getting done with warm-ups, but we wanted to make sure that we welcomed you in here tonight in Magnus Arena. Brendan Price here with you, Claire Kostelnik, our producer, and Douglas Sheffield on camera, set to bring you DU women's hockey all season long. We'll have all their home games covered for you. Two teams headed to the locker rooms. One more word from the coaching staffs, a nice cut, and then we'll get ready to get underway tonight here in the heart of Denver. Buffaloes and Pioneers coming up shortly. Stay tuned. You're watching DU Women's Hockey. Good evening, moments away from puck drop here tonight at Magnus Arena. Brendan Price here with you tonight. And again, early apologies for a little bit of an issue with the crowd mic. We're trying to get some natural sound in here so you can hear CU and DU moments away from getting underway here tonight at Magnus Arena, the home of the Pioneers. And we talked about it when these two teams were out for warm-ups before the ice cut. But this is a Pioneers team looking to bounce back. They went 0-4 against CU last year, a challenging 6-18 season. But again, the beauty of the home opener and the season opener, for that matter, all of that is in the rear-view mirror as the Pioneers look to get their season off to a winning start here tonight at Magnus Arena. We talked about Colorado and how well they did last year. 19-6-1, good for first in the WWCHL. And to add to the challenge tonight for the home side, the Buffaloes bringing back two of their top three leading scorers. They're in the starting lineup tonight, Mia Faselli and Natalie Ewald up top. We talked about the starters before the game got underway as during warm-ups. For DU, we'll mention it's Gabby Hardy who will start on left wing, Alex Chisdak in the middle. Over on the right wing will be Charlotte Katz. On defense tonight, Gabby Mansour and Reese Olson and Lindsay Taylor getting a start for the home side between the pipes. DU in their home white jerseys with the sand and red trim. Colorado in their road threads, the black with the sand and white trim. A conference game to get us started here on the 25-26 season. A big thank you to everyone here for joining us here tonight. Our goal here this season is we will have these games streaming both on the Price Productions channel and the DU Women's Hockey channel, so you can find us in either spot. Once we get access to that channel, we'll get you going in both places. But for now, a big thank you for joining us here tonight. Drop your comments in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, or in some cases, if you're hearing and seeing issues at home that we're not hearing and seeing here. So we'll get ready for, I imagine, the presentation of starting lineups and the national anthem tonight before we fully get underway here in Denver. You got a nice wide look at Magnus Arena. The Pioneers scheduled to play about 3/4 of their home games here at Magnus. They'll sprinkle in some at Joy Burns Arena just next door, as well as a couple of games in Centennial. As everyone well knows, here in the Rocky Mountain region, ice is a precious commodity. And so everyone, in many respects, takes it where they can get it. As they've got the boombox speaker out downstairs. Again, moments away from getting underway tonight. It's an awfully lonely perch up here at center ice in Magnus Arena as you get a look at the Pioneers. And again, we talked about the record from last year, but this is a team that's ready to get going this year. This was an offense a year ago that at times struggled, but make no mistake, they're incredibly good defensively. They're incredibly good with their goaltending behind Lindsay Taylor. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of thing that can carry you places further on looking for nationals. Announcing the CU starters right now in-house. As we get ready to get underway, as again mentioned, the top line going tonight for both teams. CU 19 wins a year ago. And we talked about Mia Faselli and Natalie Ewald moments ago. Those two averaged nearly a point per game last year for the Buffaloes. Zoe Watson, she'll get the start between the pipes as introduce the starters. They'll start with the blue line tonight. Reese Olson and Gabby Mansour on the blue line. As I mentioned, for DU. Should be a fun contest between these two teams, separated by about 40 minutes without traffic. Anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 days with it. Depends on what time of day you catch the 25 on the way down. We'll step aside for the playing of the national anthem. On the other side, puck drop tonight in Magnus. It's CU and DU coming up next. Starting lineups and the national anthem behind us. 60 minutes of DU hockey in front of us here tonight. The Pioneers in their home white jerseys with the red and sand trim. They are set to go left to right on your screens at home here in this opening frame. CU in the road black jerseys with the sand and white trim. Will go right to left. And there is no better feeling, ladies and gentlemen, than opening night, 60 minutes away from somebody walking away with a couple of points and a win in their back pocket. As everybody gets one last word, one last opportunity, get the helmets all suited up and get ready to go here tonight from Magnus Arena. Yeah, we're trying to get our net sound mic to cooperate here tonight. We hear it on our end, but it's coming through at home at times like it's slightly underwater. So we're trying to limit the use. Opening face-off, Ewald and Chisdak. And we are underway. The Pioneers win the draw, but it's CU that comes away with possession. Fazeli in the right wing corner now carries behind the DU now. Fazeli up the near wing wall, gets it back to the blue line. First wrist shot of the game blocked wide. Comes to Masiello behind the Pioneer net. Shakes loose of Olsen. And then Chisdak. Masiello still going to work. Tries to get it in front. And batted back to the point. D-to-D pass snapped. And good back checking by Chisdak to take away possession. DU still unable to clear the lines. A blocker saved by Taylor. Her first stop of the night, just 45 seconds in. And the Buffaloes continue to cycle. And thus far, at least in the offensive zone, DU has done a good job keeping the Buffaloes to the perimeter. And here, Chisdak was looking for an option. Instead, the puck will slide 200 feet. Icing. And 18:55 to go in this first period. Left wing face-off. Chisdak out to take it against Brianna Aarons. Aarons a clean win. Gets it back to the blue line. Wrists are knocked down in front. Puck still skitters free at the point. McDonald sends it in deep. So roll up the dasher. And DU will carry out the top forward line out again. They were unable to change after that icing. So a tire group out there for the red, white, and sand. Mansour tries to clear the zone, unable to do it. And now it's Reese Olsen back behind her own net. That D pair has been out there for Over 90 seconds now, just unable to get a change. Quick pressure from the Buffaloes. They can sense an opportunity in the offensive zone. So come out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Cassie Grant. She'll look forward for Paulson. Foot race down the far wing. And on the backhand, Lisa Sharoon, working on her master's degree in accounting. And now a touch along. It's Sharoon out of her own end. On the backhand, will get it as far as the Buffalo line. Grant, cross ice on the backhand. Picked up by Paulson. Alpecula in the corner. One of a handful of transfers on this Pioneer roster. Makes her way cross country from South Regina University, a D3 school back east. And the Pios ice it here with 2:40 gone in the first period. Just underway tonight. Offensive zone draw for the Buffaloes. Piatagorski and Moravchik. And the Buffaloes now 3 for 3 in the circle. Shot knocked down before it gets through. Foot race is on. Pekala tries to get it out at the near point. Can't do it. Now Moravchik hits the deck. Does her job and clears the zone. She'll scurry off for a change. And the Buffaloes look to start up the attack out of their own end again. Cross-ice pass picked up. Philo O'Leary across the Buffalo line. O'Leary soft wrister. And a glove save by Zoe Watson. First shot on goal for DU tonight. First save of the night for the 3-0 in between the pipes tonight for CU. And again, that's really the key for DU. Timely offense and goal scoring more than copious amounts. Breakout pass, and now up to the races. Vaselli on the break, and Lindsay Taylor sets forget it. Huge stop. Just over 3 minutes into this first period. The second leading goal scorer in the league a year ago, Vaselli. And denied there on that breakaway opportunity. Mazziello just outside her own zone. Twirls into space. Wants to go rink wide. Ewald carries forward. And good back checking again by Mansour. Tie up. Poke to the middle and away from Vaselli. Last-ditch defending by Chisdak in support. Leading point getter returning from a year ago. One of just 2 Pioneers last season to hit the double-digit mark in points. I'll always tell you as a coaching staff, it's easier to build down the middle than anything else. A stick save by Taylor there. Wallace will rim that around to the far side. Comes for Sammy Brennan, another one of those transfers for DU this year. And now it's Olsen. Accelerates out of her own zone. Across center red and over the Buffalo line. Swarmed as she hit the middle of the slot. DU really trying to set up their first cycle of the night, 5-on-5. In control, Paulson lays it off for Aarons. Harassed on the back check, shakes 3, but loses possession in the neutral zone. Moravchik still trying to knock it away. Pekala tries to work it forward. An active opening couple of shifts for her as the Buffaloes here thought would be icing. Waved off by the linesman. And now Hannah Bourbon loses out. Zahn just as quickly losing possession. Tie up at the far dot. Traffic jam. 2 Buffaloes and 2 Pioneers. And now Sowers, edge of the right wing circle. Excellent piece of positioning from Swijack to keep her to the outside. Again, that's what you want to do. Keep those high-danger shooting lanes closed. Dupuis will look forward for Caton. Across the DU line, Alexa Caton, wrist shot knocked down in front. Her opposite number, Sharon, gets in the way. At the blue line, CU cycles around the perimeter. Up top, Dupuis loads up. Wrist shot knocked down in front. Puck sitting between the circles. Everyone battling for it. And now Mazziello will spin forward on the forehand. Harassed and then dispossessed by Sammy Brennan. Transferred from Marian University. It's in front, and there's Taylor, point blank again. Her second stop. And from similar range, that time she shut down Claire Furla in front. And an early pair of tests for the Pioneer goaltender. And when you look at goaltending, that's what you want it to do. Make saves early on. Give your offense a chance. That jump started here in the season opener for DU. And it's a very front-loaded schedule as well for the Pioneers here in the fall semester. Shizdak across the Buffalo line. On the backhand, into the corner. Shizdak waits, tries to lob a pass in front. She'll get it back. Up top, Mansour. Wrister knocked down, still rolling through the low slot. And finally picked up by McDonald. Tries to lead Mazziello. Had Pacelli cutting to the net. Pacelli waits and lifted it high over the glove side. Another opportunity goes by the wayside for CU. Foot race is on. Kieran Sullivan, shadowed by Hardy, who will quickly head off for changes. CU has had a lion's share of possession in the first period. Couple of opportunities, but still scoreless tonight at Magnus. Here a chance. Shot low and wide. Pekala didn't miss by much. Got a clean look from the blue line. Now it's Pekala, right wing corner. Tried to dangle it around McDonald. Comes back up to the blue line, held in there. Sharon pinches from the left dot. Goes to work in the corner. Watch the clear from Sullivan. Now Wallace wants to go east to west. Tries to spring Terletska. Peek over the shoulder from Lily Moravchik. Will go up the near wing wall, but not out. Wallace from the circle, and Taylor snaps the 6-hole door shut. Makes the save with 11:24 to go here in the first period. Again, a big thank you for joining with us on opening night, bearing with us a little bit during warm-ups and pregame tonight. But it's an absolute pleasure and a thrill to bring you DU women's hockey this year. It's a busy night here on campus. Women playing here at Magnus, and simultaneously to that, the DU men's ACHA team going to work right next door at Joy Burns. Oh, an opportunity here. Look out, Cookout, Swyjack. Putting it accelerate down that left wing. But the opportunity is still there for the Pioneers. Pass in front. That's knocked down. Watson still trying to get the puck, and finally hitting the emergency release valve there was Helena Mall. Wow, it sure looked like icing. Taylor put her arms up asking about that as well. Yeah, that seems about right. That was likely icing the other way, but in the interest of fairness, the officials keep play moving. Nice step in the neutral zone by Brennan. Holds up play. Piatagorski, right wing corner. Surveys. Trades places. Trying to dive in was Dupuis from the right dot. And now the Buffaloes again through the neutral zone. Head up for Bourbon. Tries to get it around Furla. They go to work behind the Pioneer net. Pass in front, broken up. Chizdak again. An active opening 10 minutes for Alex Chizdak. McDonald trying to take the puck out of her skates. Will push it as far as center red. Pakala looks up. Doesn't have any options down this near wing wall. McDonald steps up. Batted forward. Puck rolling end over end. We had a couple of backhand shovel efforts from Reese Olson. Get the puck away from that ever dangerous top line for the Buffaloes. Sherling rolls one off the base of the post. Skip away from Watson's glove layer at the last moment. Battling in the corner. Down on her knees is Bourbon trying to hold the zone. Foot race on. Pacelli sachets around Pekala. Left wing circle. Pacelli hit the goalpost. Wanted to go short side. Beat everything but the iron. Still 0-0. Not to say that CU has not been knocking on the door. Mazziello dangles past two across the Pioneer line. Forehand to backhand. Mazziello powers to the front in a left pad saved by Taylor. Puck loose at the edge of the blue paint. And DU deals with it nicely. Swyjak. The near side corner. Chips off glass and out. Sharon thought about the pinch. Now trying to turn it forward, O'Leary. And even in the early going, 12 minutes gone in this first period, the Pioneers a significantly shorter bench at their disposal than the visitors. And you wonder how the legs hold up. Grant, low wrister, wanted the tip in front from Wallace, doesn't get it. Wallace again sends it in front, and there's Taylor once more. Puck rolling around to the near side. Erickson. Brennan will gain center red, and DU will get a change. And the challenge with a shorter bench in any contest, let alone at the beginning of the year, you're still getting into game shape. You can practice, you can scrimmage, you can get to the gym, but it is hard to simulate a full 100% shift against opponents that forecheck. Cajon in the corner. Rolls it free for Paulson. Shadowed by Olsen on the far wing wall. Olsen rips it around, gets it away from danger. Mansour on the zone exit. Tries to spring Katz, who's on the move. Katz can't get to it in the corner. Oh, great play behind the CU net. This one will come free up top. Rister and Watson swallowed it up with the blue paint. That was Moravchik jumping into the play in the high slot. As good a look as any that GU has had here in the first period. 6:42 to go in period number one. Still scoreless tonight at Magnus Arena. The season opener for these two teams. The Buffaloes in their own zone. A little bit more of a forecheck here for the Pioneers. First time we've seen that tonight. And here the Buffaloes will roll this 200, well, about 190 feet. Won't quite go the length for icing. Mansour spins away from danger. Now Bourbon. Board meeting over in the corner. And finally, the biscuit squirts free. D-to-D pass, Dupuis through traffic! And Zoe Dupuis, the CU captain, has the Buffaloes on the board. It's 1-0. Dupuis caught the deflection in between the circles. It may have hit a Pioneer stick. But CU won't care how. They'll just care that it went in the back of the net. And the visitors lead it 1-0. And the way that Lindsay Taylor has played here in the opening of this first period You had to think that it would take a bounce of that caliber to try and find a way through. Mazziello into the high slot, drops it off. Ewald loads up a shot, a slap shot. Taylor with the left pad save. She'll cover up the rebound on the far post as well, to be sure. Tough break there for DU. They find themselves trailing 1-0, and we talked about in the pregame, these two teams battled it out 4 times last year. 2 of them were 1-goal games that DU found themselves on the wrong side of. They played a 2-goal game as well. So the competition level right there for the home side just didn't translate in the win column. Faselli across the Pioneer line, down the left wing, backhand pass in front, and Mazziello pushed it wide on the near post. Had Taylor sliding the wrong direction. Watson plays it out for Ewald in the corner, pressured by Chisdak. Hardy jumps into the play, left wing corner. Get it out to the point. Katz from the left dot. And trying to pinch was Mansour, in a bit of trouble. And a back pass nearly caused issues for DU there. Mazziello goes to work with Mansour. Wallace down there trying to dig it out as well. Wallace ties up with Chisdak in the corner. Mansour flops it only as far as the top of the left wing circle. And now Hardy trying to outlet. Hardy, all by her lonesome 1-on-3, pulls up at the Buffalo blue line. Knew she didn't have help. Now it's O'Leary. Has her pocket picked, trying to enter the offensive zone. Watch out. Penalty box door slips open. So they'll have to make sure that's extra secure. The whistle brings play to a halt here with 4:02 to go in period number 1. 1-0 Buffaloes, thanks to the Zoe Dupuis goal. Wallace, right wing circle. Wrist shot and a glove save by Taylor. She has been something special here in the first period. 7 saves on 8 shots. And it hasn't just been that there have been 8 shots on goal. Seems like a bit of an undershoot as that wrister blocked wide. It's been the quality for CU of their scoring opportunities. A slap shot right on cue. And Taylor made the stop. Terletska, from the left wing circle, whacked at that. Aarons behind the DU net. Twirls on the backhand and a tough break there. They're going to get DU for a penalty. O'Leary had her stick extended, and I think Aarons tripped on it more than O'Leary tripped her. And for the first time tonight, a power play, and this will go to CU with 3:27 to go here in period number 1. Olsen, Swyjack. Looks like Brennan and Pakala, the 4-woman penalty killing unit for DU, who win the draw clean. Mazziello pinches in from the right point. Rister knocked down in front. And I think that Piotagorski may have gotten a piece of that on the way through. Faselli quarterbacking this first power play unit. Lays it off. Sullivan. Shadowed by Pioneers. This one, Faselli tried to wedge it in short side. And Lindsay Taylor right there again. Oh, they will tell you that your goaltender is your best penalty killer. And tonight, Lindsay Taylor has been just that for the home side. Off the draw, backhanded only as far as the line by Bourbon. Now Wallace, left wing corner. She'll roll it around to the far side. Comes free Wallace on the wraparound. Tried to pull a pass over to the near side post. Nobody home. Shot and a goal. The Buffaloes double up. It's a power play goal. Sliding into space and getting the job done. And it's 2-0 CU with 2:37 to go in the first. So the Buffaloes make the Pioneers pay for the unfortunate O'Leary tripping minor. On the ensuing draw, tie up in the circle. Chisdak tries to push it forward. McDonald snaps it past D for Sullivan. Looks ahead. And now Piatagorski, right wing circle, goes to the front. And she tried to sauce that pass in the air for Furla on the near wing. And right before the break, get the sense that maybe CU sensing blood in the water, trying to stretch that advantage out before the first intermission. McDonald chops it ahead. Chisdak furthers it into the Buffalo zone. And after that couple of shifts for DU where they forechecked 5-on-5, really settled back more into their own end. And again, it's such a demanding way to play. Watson makes a save on that neutral zone dump in. Such a demanding way to play anyway, let alone when you're playing with a bit shorter of a bench. Ewald. That's that come to center red for Olsen. So chip it forward now, Facelli. Taps it to herself around Olsen. Facelli pass through the slot, nobody home. And DU handles it. Again, only as far as the line. Now Sherling. Facelli had to corral that bouncing puck. Rolled off her skip there for a moment. A minute to go in period number 1. 2-0 CU. Season opener offside here. As looks like it was Terletsko zigged where she could have zagged. Caught Facelli offside, so a neutral zone draw. Sawajak to take it. She'll win it back. Scooped up there. Brennan twirls free. Aaron's right wing circle glove saved by Taylor. Recovers and keeps the rebound out with the left pad. Dupuis snaps the pass D to D. Another wrist shot and a blocker save. Taylor again. Now DU looking to counter. Trying to shove it forward was Brennan. Wallace into the corner. Pressured by Mansour. Erickson. Only as far as center red. Be time for one more rush here for CU. Instead, Erickson knocks it up in the neutral zone. And that will do it for the first period here tonight at Magnus Arena. Zoe Dupuis, the CU captain, gets the visitors on the board first. The first of a pair. And after 20 minutes tonight, 2-0. Colorado leads the University of Denver. We'll step aside for the intermission break. When we return, we'll bring you more DU women's hockey action here from Magnus Arena. Brendan Price here with you tonight from Magnus Arena. 2-0. The University of Colorado with the lead over the Pioneers after 20 minutes tonight. Zoe Dupuis, the first goal for the Buffaloes. And on the power play, CU scoring that second. And I apologize for not having her name on our roster that we were given. It's Morgan McLean. But as much as I could surmise from the public address announcement when they introduced the starting lineup, that's sure not who it sounded like they introduced as number 71. So didn't want to take any chances. And again, apologies on that note there. Just on that second goal. Again, 2-0 Buffalo shots in that first period, 19-6 in favor of CU. We talked about throughout that opening 20 minutes how strong Lindsay Taylor was, and the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, they back it up. 17 saves on 19 shots for her. And on the other side, Zoe Watson didn't have as much to do. Mentioned the 6 shots for DU, a couple from high danger areas from Caroline Pekala and Lily Moravchik. But all in all, Zoe Watson had a pretty clean lane at her shots for the most part. As she made all the saves she needed to, and realistically, that's what you ask of your goaltending on any given night. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to be what you need it to be to keep you in the game and get you a win at the end of the night. Power plays in that first period, just one for the Buffaloes. They converted on that. They're 1 for 1. The DU penalty kill 0 for 1. No power play opportunities for the Pioneers here tonight. And Mike has it right on the YouTube stream in the comments. We talked about that shorthanded bench, particularly in this fall semester for DU. A lot of young women studying abroad, getting that educational experience. And boy, it's a tough trade-off, right? Do you play college hockey or do you get to go study abroad? Both of which opportunities of a lifetime. And it's a good way to ring in the new academic year here at DU. Moments away from the start of period number 2. The two teams will switch ends. The period of the long change up and coming here tonight from Magnus Arena. And the additional challenge, I think, tonight within the period of the long change is we had our intermission graphic up. We had the Stay Tuned logo going. But, folks, I tell you, the ice has not sat for but 90 seconds once the Zamboni got done with the scrape in between periods. So I imagine we may see a little bit bouncier of a puck here to start this middle frame. You can still see some of the water slicks out there as everybody gets ready to go. In fact, down this left wing right in front of the DU bench, you can see it glistening in the light. So it may make the zone entry a smidge tougher here in the opening moments of period number 2. And CU making their way out of the tunnel. We talked about them in the pregame. 19 wins last year, first in the conference. And they have very much looked the part of defending conference champions over the first 20 minutes here tonight. As the two teams hit the ice, get a couple of warm-up laps in before we get ready for the middle frame here tonight at Magnus Arena. And I tell you, man, the players they're getting a feel for it, and they are spinning out there in front of their respective benches. Again, we'll see how the first few shifts go before they can get that ice ready. A busy Friday night here on campus in the heart of Denver. Talked about we have our game here tonight at Magnus, and right next door, the ACHA Men's Division II squad is getting their quasi-official home opener. They played a game against Colorado School of Mines here last weekend, but against a D3 side, wasn't officially a divisional contest. So they're getting their conference slate underway tonight with Colorado State just next door. Ewald and Chisdak for the opening draw in period number 2. And up the draw, Chisdak will slide it forward And when the faceoff rips a shot on goal, Watson with an early blocker save. And that's something you have to imagine was a focus in the intermission for the Pioneers, getting more pucks on goal at Zoe Watson. Offside here against the Buffaloes in transition. Well, as the old axiom goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And an early one from Chizdak there. I'll tell you the 2-goal lead. It is the most dangerous lead in hockey. You can get a little complacent, know that one goal can't tie it, one goal can't beat you. And on the very same breath, in a 2-goal game, all it takes is one to get a little bit of life back in this Pioneers side. Aaron cycles it down low. The pass kicks off with Terletska, skates in front. And now DU trying to get off in transition. Shirley on the forecheck. D-to-D pass comes to Sullivan. No pass through the neutral zone. Wallace picked it off. I'm not sure it was meant for her. And now on the attack, it's Bourbon. Into the right wing corner. On the backhand, throws a pass in front. Falls kindly. Moravchik up top. Mansour looking to cycle. Plays it down low. Sullivan there to scoop it up for CU. Sullivan can't exit the zone. Taken away by Brennan in the corner. This is the benefit of the long change period on the other side, is it may allow DU to operate a little bit more of a forecheck than we saw in that opening 20 minutes. They've got the change on the close blue line, which may help in that regard. Brennan tries to go to work. Gets it back out behind the CU net. Puck still rolling around. Mansour went for the pinch, and Wallace clears the zone. Pakala across the line, tries to sidestep McDonald. Payton throws it in, delayed offside. Sharon rolls one up the dasher. And now Pakala gets it away. She goes to ground, taken down by McDonald. DU asking for a penalty that's not going to come. Sowers. The cycle will roll it down low. Sharon tied up by her opposite number, Payton. That one rolls into the blue paint. And right on cue, it's been a minute since we've called Lindsay Taylor's name. She's probably more grateful for the respite than any of us. Makes her first save of the period with 2:29 gone here in the middle frame tonight in Denver. Near wing face-off, Piatagorski and Chizdak. Clean win for CU. Shot knocked down, right pat saved by Taylor. Had the screen in front to contend with as well. Inching in, Mole, her wrister blocked. Numbers here for the Pioneers if they hurry 3-on-2. Chip and chase for Chizdak. She'll roll it on goal. Watson out to cover it, so at minimum, DU will get an offensive zone face-off out of it. Moravchik steps in to take it against Piatagorski. Moravchik, clean win back. O'Leary dances from the left. The shot redirected in front. Shirley pushed the tip just wide. And now the Buffaloes up to the races. Great last-ditch defending there. Danger not yet done, though. Mansour tries to lead Shirley on the outlet pass. Dupuis snaps a pass rink wide in the neutral zone. Piatagorski had that hit her skate. Pass, I think, was intended for Abigail Zahn on this near wing. Delayed offside here. Pios catch a break. Mansour has her pocket picked. Exiting her own zone. Furla down the left wing into the corner. Flips that around. Swiatek goes to work. Tries to bang that around Furla. And again, a similar start to what we saw in the first period where In the opening 8-9 minutes of that first frame, DU soaked up a lot of pressure, kept the Buffaloes to the outside, limited their high-quality scoring chances for the most part. Vaselli accelerates, barrels in, and scores. Well, for DU, you can chalk that one up to the curse of the commentator. Mia Vaselli, the team's leading scorer from a year ago, opens her account in 25-26 and makes it 3-0 to the visitors. Right on cue, Vaselli turned it on, put it in fifth gear, raced down the slot, and Taylor got about 75% of that wrister with the glove, but just couldn't do enough to keep it out. Pioneers looking for a quick response. Brennan behind the CU net. He'll come up to the near point. Pekala thought about the pinch, and on the back check, Erickson made life difficult for the moment. Vaselli, right wing corner, already a goal to her account. Throws a pass to the front. Comes back to the point for Sullivan. Ewald, left wing corner, tied up by Pekala. Mazziello in there after it for the Buffaloes as well. Ewald swats it free to Mazziello. Behind the DU net on the forehand. Doesn't like what she sees. Tries to pass it in front. Got it there. And Wallace's shot never made it on net. Brennan across the Buffalo line. Brennan on the forehand. Dances into the corner. Throws a dangerous pass right through the edge of the crease. Nobody there to receive it for the Pios. Ahrens tries to kick this one forward. Knocks it in off of Olsen. Goes to her defensive partner, Pekala. Outlet pass slips off the stick of Katz. Pekala. Delayed offside here. Her dump in hit a skate. Now the other direction. Helena Mall plays this in deep. Sharon after it. Tied up only as far as the near wing circle. Ahrens has that one batted away from her stick. Now it's Wallace. Rattles this one up the boards. Katz from her own blue line will send this the length of the ice. And that will go for icing. With 13:47 to go here in the second period. It's never a good time to ice the puck. The second period, certainly one of the worst times, I think. Makes life that much tougher to get off the ice. Sowers and Moravchik for the draw. Now Sowers whips the pass up to the left point. This could be an unmanned rush here for DU. Pass trying to get across to the near side for Hardy. She'll gather it up and lose possession at the top of the left wing circle. O'Leary in pursuit. Loses possession. Pickpocket by Swiatek behind the DU net. She'll roll it up and off to the races. Sherling tries to center a pass. Broken up again. And that, so far tonight, 12:55 to go in the second period. That really has been the story for DU. The zone exit has been there. They get to that CU blue line, but just haven't had that ability to hit that final breakout pass, and even really haven't been able to set up anything after the dump and chase either. It's just really the offensive zone face-offs have been the Pios' best point of attack so far tonight. And in the corner trying to go to work is Bourbon. Good pinch from Sharon there at the left dot, holds the zone. Sowers thunders that around to the far side. And another strong pinch from DU. Puck falls for Katon. Across the DU line, Caton on the forehand power move to the front. And a pad save by Taylor again. And what hasn't Lindsay Taylor done tonight? I tell you. Gorski icing wave. She'll win the race and back it up to the blue line. Shot from the left point, blocked. Goes into the corner. Now Moravchik will get it as far as the neutral zone. Scooped up there. And now McDonald all the way to the front. And Taylor makes the stop. Doesn't allow a rebound. Save number 22 tonight for her. Keeps it a 3-0 game with 11:46 to go in the second. Lead went off the draw. McDonald from the point through traffic. Taylor there. Late reaction, but she saw the shot at the last moment and made the stop. Mansour. Quick peek. Well, get it as far as the point. Pioneers will shove this forward. And an opportunity now. Brennan on the attack. Sullivan. Outlet pass tipped along by Furla. That should negate icing, and it will. Mansour, quick peek over her shoulder. Feels the pressure coming and backhands it across to her D partner, Olsen. Now Mazziello on the short side, tried to jam one home. Taylor covered the post well. Chizdak applying the pressure. Blue line to blue line. Vaselli, right wing corner, tries to get a pass in front. Mazziello back to Vaselli, right wing faceoff circle in front. Mazziello the tip, and there's Taylor again. If you're Vaselli and Mazziello, you love that look. It's a nice little 1-2 in front as well. Mazziello cut to the net. Vaselli just lobbed it in there for her. And Taylor did a great job making herself big in between the posts and cutting down that redirection effort. Dupuis had the first goal of the game for CU midway through the second period. Backhand pass knocked down in front. And the Buffaloes look to surge on the counter. Mazziello harassed from behind by Pekala. Mazziello to the front. And that's backhanded away. Taylor gets it to Sharon. Now Gabby Hardy tries to turn on the afterburners and bounces one in towards Watson. Halfway home here tonight at Magnus. 3-0. Colorado on top of DU. 2 in the first and 1 in the second for the Buffaloes. Watson makes the stop. Swallowed up the rebound as well on the wrister from Bourbon. And the Pios will get an offensive zone face-off out of it. Again, all home games all season long here for the DU women. We'll have it on the Price Productions channel as well as eventually on the DU Women's Hockey YouTube channel as well. You can find the games in both spots. Tie up in the right wing corner. And the Pioneers will shove that along. Sherling tries to get around her opposite number, McDonald. I thought it looked offside, but that's why I'm up here in the eagle-eye perch with glasses on. I'm not an official, nor am I going to pretend to be. McDonald snapshot swallowed up by Taylor again. DU back at home a week from tonight. Sowers and Switek for the face-off. Taylor, a stick save. Capably guides the rebound in the corner as well. Brennan tries to push that around Paulson. Now Paulson dances down the right side and a glove save. Taylor with the heel of her glove got a piece of that. Brennan, except that Bourbon, will chop that up and into the Buffalo bench. Out of play. Everybody down there getting a good laugh about it. And, at this level, that's, especially with schools this close, 45 minutes or so, have to imagine that a fair number of these players have grown up playing against each other. So a fair bit of familiarity in that regard. Caton across the DU line throws a pass to the front, and Taylor right there. Man, I tell you, that shot disparity, it's a 4-to-1 ratio just about, does not tell the story tonight. I mean, thus far, it's been one of those nights where, here we go, TU on the move, 2-on-1. Hardy across the line, her shot. A toe saved by Watson. Had Chisdak with her. Now the Buffaloes, they'll try and counter the laid offside here. Puck rolled away from Paulson before she could carry it over the Pio line. Hardy on the backhand, shoves it only as far as her opposite number, Cassie Grant. Nifty moves by Caton, left wing circle. Taylor with the body save, slides out and covers the rebound as well. Sometimes silky mitts are undone by better goaltending. A-plus effort on both sides of that sequence. 7:37 to go here in the second period tonight. Clean went off the draw. Dupuis from the right dot, loads up and scores! Zoe Dupuis on the double. Sniped one through a massive humanity in front of Lindsay Taylor. And with 7:29 to go in period number 2, Colorado hits Quattro, and it's 4-0. A heads-up play from the Buffalo captain there. Had enough time and space to get a good heavy wrist shot off from the point. Saw the traffic jam developing on Taylor. And the puck finds a home short side. Yanagorski goes to work in the corner. Rolls it up for Dupuis. Yanagorski spins. Dupuis bangs it down low. Zahn on the backhand puts it in front. And now an opportunity on the move. Moravchik. Willie Moravchik, right wing circle. Wanted the pass in front. Had Bourbon cut into the net. Bourbon, fling this off the end boards. Buffaloes try and push in transition. Furla. Ball's kindly Ewald. Now Furla on the backhand off the post and in. Flair Furla. Pops a changeup off the goalpost and past Taylor. And the barn doors may not have been blown off, but they are creaking at the hinges here with 6:26 to go in period number 2. 5-0. CU. Sullivan. Nina D. McDonald. Sullivan. East to west through the neutral zone, and now accelerating into space. It's Ewald all the way to the net. A blocker save. The rebound. Taylor keeps it out. Mazziello, another opportunity on the doorstep. Taylor stands tall. Mazziello Now Ewald. Chip and chase around Olsen. Vaselli. Right wing on the near wall. Spins a backhand pass in front. Taylor made the save. She was down in the crease. Mazziello cleans up the garbage on the doorstep. And the Buffaloes offense stampeding here in the second period. And they lead 6-0. And that's one of those plays where, man, you've got to feel for DU in their own zone and for Lindsay Taylor in particular. Made the first save, probably made a second one in there as well, but Mazziello, the third trailer, got the job done. Pekola's wrist shot blocked down in front. And now the Buffaloes up to the races again. Odd man rush. Terletska comes across for Aarons, and good defending at the last by Chisdak to take that away. That one, watch out. Up into the CU bench and out of play. 5 different goal scorers tonight for the reigning conference champions. It's been a balanced effort, and thus far, a consistent effort. 2 in the first and 4 in the second for the visitors in the black, sand, and white. Pekola pressured behind her own net. Dug out by Wallace. Aarons back from whence it came. Wallace tries to shovel a pass in front. Sharon on the takeaway. She'll gain center red. Now across the Buffalo line. Thought about the drop pass. Instead, tries to whack a pass in front. It's tipped. And DU will try and forecheck here. Shirley pressures Wallace on the left wing wall. Or right wing wall, rather. Puck still rattling around in the high slot. Settled down by Paulson. 1-on-2 down the near side. Paulson dispossessed by Pekola and Sharon. Caton dances. Pass in front, and there's Taylor. Had some help from Elisa Sharon as well, who blocked the pass and then left it for her goaltender to scoop up. .409 remaining here in period number 2. Pass to the front, look out! Off of Taylor's glove, it falls right to Sowers. She'll bat it into the net. And CU firmly in command here in the second period. Amelia Sowers, the beneficiary of the loose change at the edge of the blue paint. Switek and Sowers at center. Off the restart. Here comes Caton looking for more. Blocker save. Taylor rebound just pushed wide. Taylor may have got her left toe to that. I don't know that she knew much about the shot from Sowers, but good positioning will do that for attending. Brennan goes to work. She's wiped out. Dupuis on the re-entry for Caton. Has her pocket picked. Getting it as far as center red with Switek. Dupuis, her pass deflected. Taylor will cradle it for Mansour. She'll lob it around the far wing wall as far as center red. On. Sullivan. Now Zahn. Gets away from a chop by Hardy on the back check. Hardy in the corner. Upends her mark. And the Pioneers try and get out of their own zone. They'll get it as far as center red. Sullivan east to west for McDonald. Up ahead, Furla. She has a goal in this second period. Now McDonald, top of the right wing circle. Shot knocked down, doesn't make it through. Yadagorski cycling for Furla. It's too far out of her reach, and now Mansour. Ball's kindly for Hardy. 2-on-2, now possibly a 3-on-2. Hardy on the dump in. DU will look to get some fresh lights out there. Kyla O'Leary, the Lone Ranger on the forecheck. Nice step there on the deflection from Hannah Bourbon. Pushes that puck up and out of play. .201 to go here in the second period. Buffaloes have blown it open with a 5 spot here in the middle frame. Pekala will play it off the near wing wall, tried to pass it to herself, and now Facelli wanted to drop pass. She'll get it back in the corner. Facelli rattles it for Mazziello, tried to spin it in front. And the Pios will get it away, a temporary reprieve at center red. Oh, good last-ditch defending for McDonald. Nearly had Sherling pick that off and head the other direction. Mazziello at the right point. Trades places with Ewald. She'll let that run for Facelli. Bodied up by Pekala behind the DU net. Mole in her own zone. Pressured by Sherling. Mole will lift that off the near wing wall. Great step by Sharon. Allows the DU forecheck to try and set up again. And Sherling on the turnover has her stick tied up behind the CU net. She hits the deck, and the Buffaloes come away with possession. Facelli. 2-on-2 with Aarons. Facelli peels back in the corner. Wants to go to the blue line. Sherling, good back check. The Buffaloes still in the offensive zone. Grant. That shot knocked down. Aarons on the tip in front. Still loose, and a stick save by Taylor. Under a half minute to go in the second period. Facelli, a one-timer, and another kick saved by Taylor. Mole holds the zone at the left point. CU still working in the offensive zone. Aarons, right wing corner, and there's the left pad of Lindsay Taylor. That will do it for the middle frame. The Buffaloes, a runaway charge on offense here in the middle frame at Magnus Arena. They put up 5. They stretched their lead out 7-0 after 40 minutes tonight. We'll step aside for the quick intermission break. On the other side, we'll get you ready for period number 3. Here you're watching DU Women's Hockey on Price Productions. Brendan Price here with you. Colorado on top of the University of Denver, 7-0 after 2 periods of play. And one of the things that we kind of talked about as the broadcast has progressed tonight, and the astute folks at home have talked about it as well, is the DU team trying to still mesh with each other. Again, the challenge in many respects of being on the quarter system in particular is folks, they haven't been in school long. They haven't been practicing together all that long. And so it's really been kind of discovery time as the season has gotten underway. And, we were talking about it up here over the break where, on the one hand, opening your season, only a handful of practices together is a tough nut to crack. It's a tough balance. And then you do that when you open up your schedule against the defending WWCHL Conference Champion CU Buffaloes. And again, we've talked about it, especially in that second period. CU has certainly looked the part tonight. They've got the 7 goals. They've come from everywhere tonight. Zoe Dupuis has a pair. Anna Mazziello, Mia Faselli, Claire Furla, Amelia Sowers. They all have a goal apiece tonight. And, we talked about it during the opening 40 minutes, but you look at that shot differential on your scoreboard there, 45-9. And I tell you, Lindsay Taylor, the score line won't show it, but she has been exquisite tonight between the pipes for the Pioneers. Made a lot of big saves in that first period, kind of give that TU offense an opportunity to jump start and get going. And we talked about, earlier in the telecast that it's a shorthanded DU side as well. A lot of their players studying abroad here this semester. They'll return for the shorter schedule in that spring semester where they'll have a few home games here and there. But this is a DU team that, they've run up against a buzzsaw in the defending conference champion CU Buffaloes. And you know what? They have worked their tails off for the better part of 40 minutes. Still got 20 more here tonight from Magnus Arena. And credit where credit is due. On the other side, Zoe Watson hasn't had a lot to do. 9 saves on 9 shots. But realistically, again, DU had a couple of really good looks at goal in that second period from close range down below the circles, but just unable to find the back of the net against Watson here so far tonight. No carryover penalties to start period number 3. Everyone at full strength. It's been a pretty clean, open, steady game here tonight. Only 1 power play opportunity between the two teams. Again, that was CU scoring on their player advantage in the first period. Well, if you're going to look, one more word on the DU bench. Visitors will start with their top line. DU will counter with the same Ewald and Chisdak. For the opening draw, Chisdak a winner, and the third period underway. They did add an extra 4 minutes as Ewald in front, stonewalled from point-blank range. Dupuis loads up, and there's Taylor again. They added an extra 4 minutes on the intermission clock in the second intermission. Gave the ice a little bit more time to rest before the two teams got back out on the ice. Sure, that was something that they talked about after the second period as Ewald short side, and there's Taylor again with the shoulder save. Dupuis from the right point, that shot knocked down in front. Everyone still jamming away for the biscuit, and now it's Bourbon on the outlet. One off the skates of Katz. Watson held on to it, thought about playing it. And with Hannah Bourbon knocking on the door, she'll freeze the puck and concede the defensive zone draw. Moravchik, clean win. Sharon on the backhand. Now Moravchik up top. Snapshot wide of the net by Bourbon. Wallace over skates. Now Pekala wanted the tip. Had Moravchik cutting through the high slot. Sharon delayed offside, and wasn't much she could do about that. Jabbed at the puck, tried to keep her wingspan behind the blue line, and just a bad bounce will bring the faceoff back out into the neutral zone. Shirley surges forward. Now Wallace will drop it back for Sullivan. Sullivan stretch pass, finds Pekala. D3 transfer has acquitted herself quite nicely in her DU debut tonight. McDonald, top of the left wing circle. That shot skitters wide. That's another piece of DU, again, on the quarter system, just starting their academic year. It's not even just all of the returners getting used to playing with each other. It's integrating some transfers as well. Taylor with a stick save. Rebound still bouncing around top of the crease. And the Pios will handle it. Sherling pressured by her opposite number, McDonald, at the left point. I'll pop free. And Bourbon will lob this into the CU end and allow the Pios to get full changes. Sullivan. That one's banked along by Sowers. Mansour cuts her off. Gets the inside position. Had her stick tied up. Still able to use the boot. Get the puck to the far wing half wall. Comes up top. Slap shot and a stick save. Taylor again. Maul in center red. One's flipped along by Alexa Caton into the DU zone. Mansour gets this to the top of the near wing circle. Piatagorski whacks it forward. Grant. CU third line goes to work. Furlow. Now Piatagorski, left wing circle. Drops it off. Zahn dangles into the low slot. Her shot high and wide. Second effort blocked. And CU taking advantage in the offensive zone. That one's thrown off the mark by Furlow. Piatagorski trades places with Maul on the right wing. Now Sammy Brennan tries to spin one on the backhand. That at least allows for a partial change behind her. Grant. Harassed by Chisdak. Piatagorski. Yeah, they're going to get Chisdak. Her hand caught in the cookie jar. Just enough of a slight hook to catch Piatagorski off balance. They'll call it a trip. Potato, potato. And CU to the power play for the second time tonight. The center did just enough to throw Piatagorski off balance. And the Buffaloes 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. Their first since the first period. Faselli puts it in front. Piatagorski. The penalty, yeah, I was going to say, it was Olsen who had her stick slashed out of her grasp. And just as quickly as CU gets a power play, Abigail Piatagorski finds herself the guilty party. She'll earn herself an all-expenses 2-minute vacation in the sin bin, and will play 4-on-4 for 1:47. Katz and Faselli for the draw. Katz won the draw. Mazziello jumped the pass, headed back to the point. And now 1-on-3. Knocked off the puck by Pekala. Lot of open ice. Slap shot, and wow! Ewald labeled that sucker top shelf over the glove of Taylor. There's not much that many goaltenders are going to do about that. And it's 8-0. Oh, quite frankly, I think Natalie Ewald was one of the more surprised people in the building. She hit that puck as clean as you could on the slap shot. Rifled it over the glove of Taylor and in. So for the Buffaloes, that top line, everybody on the line with a goal tonight. Ewald the third of the threesome to get her name on the score sheet. And now Moravchik down the left wing. Delayed offside here on DU. Bourbon tried to touch up. And with 5 minutes gone in the third period, you wonder, even with the offensive push like that, if that might be more about legs. Again, a shorter bench. First game of the year, getting back into game condition. Wallace runs batted away from her. Now Moravchik. Taken away momentarily by Bourbon. 55 seconds left of 4-on-4 time. Icing here against CU, so they won't be able to change. Faceoff will come to Watson's left. And again, this is where DU has been at their most threatening offensively tonight. Swipe check on the tie-up. Aaron's, that one whacked clear. Foot race is on. Wallace and Sharon go to work. Sharon pulls it on the backhand. Waits for pressure or support. The pressure got there first. And this will be a penalty against Amanda Wallace. And the question is, how many? If it's 2 or 4, it looks like it's just a 2-minute minor. So DU will have the power play now. A lot of open ice here, 4-on-3. First power play opportunity of the night for the Pioneers. They'll send Swiatek, Sharon, O'Leary, and Brennan out. Vaselli gets the inside angle on Sharon. Ties her up just enough. Prevents Mia Vaselli from really getting a good clean shot on goal. Brennan has her pocket picked. And now it's Ewald waits off the goalpost. Ewald nearly made the Pios pay for the turnover in their own zone. DU 5-on-3 for 10 seconds, and now a 2-on-1. Brennan down the right wing. Brennan dangles, waits, and it rolls off her stick. Tried to play it to the front, and it's scooped up there by the Buffaloes. Down the left wing, Taylor right there with the body save. Olsen carries it free. Numbers here for the Pioneers. Olsen, coast to coast, in the high slot. Flips a shot wide. A heavy collision behind the play. Olsen slow to get up here at the near point. Bourbon rolls it up the wall for Mansour. 40 seconds left on the Pioneer power play, setting up in the offensive zone for the first time. As Watson made the stick save, spilled the rebound. Mazziello across center red. Flip this one into the DU zone. Does what she needs to do on the penalty kill. Hardy has Katz with her, 2-on-2. Hardy across the line on net. And Watson makes the stick save, covers it up. No rebounds. 12:36 to go in the third period. 8 seconds left on the DU power play, their first of the night. Off the draw, slap shot from Sharon. Bounces towards Watson, who handles it. Buffalo's back at full strength. So their penalty kill improves to 2 for 2. Technically speaking, that two-player advantage counts as a second power play for the Pioneers. Aarons goes to work, rolls it up top. McDonald had it momentarily. Comes out to the far side. Now McDonald picks that off in the neutral zone down Broadway. Defended nicely by Moravchik. They'll bounce that into the corner. Sharon takes the body. Allows the Pioneers to try and get it out of their own zone. Just as quickly held up. Caton. Edge of the right wing circle. Still on the forehand. Caton surveys, looks. Hopes a pass in front. Sowers tapped it wide. She'll roll it up top. Dupuis walks the line. Buffalo's content to cycle around the wall. Caton drops it for Dupuis. Scored from that real estate in the second period. Wanted the redirection in front that just goes wide. Pekala rolls it along for Moravchik. She gets a piece of it. And the Pios will hurry a full change. 9 minutes gone here in period number 3. A giveaway. Brennan tries to roll it forward. Takes a kind DU bounce for Swiatek. She'll back it up. Brennan. Swiatek to the front. Comes up top. Mansour loads up through traffic. And Watson made the stop. Swiatek got a piece of it on the doorstep. The DU captain. It's really been the best look of the third period for the Pioneers on offense. And again, we talk about what Lindsay Taylor has done in goal, and Zoe Watson has made all the saves she's needed to, 14 of 14. As a traffic jam in the neutral zone pushes the Buffaloes offside. Yanagorski wins the draw back. Son, backhand pass in front. Taylor with the paddle. Gets that away from danger for the moment. Grant. Yanagorski. Oh, Chizdak nearly picked off that rink-wide pass. But had an opportunity all by her lonesome in the high slot as well. Mansour turns it for O'Leary. O'Leary jabs it along. Smart play by Hardy. She'll knock that in. Broken up by Mole, who will... Now, I think Mazziello's going to win the race. Yes, she does. Great hustle from Anna Mazziello there to negate icing. And, whoo, right pass saved by Taylor. Another stop in front by Lindsay Taylor. Back-to-back saves for the Pio netminder there. And I tell you, the scoreline may say 8-0. Shots, you see the disparity on your screens at home. And Lindsay Taylor has put up a whale of an effort tonight to keep the scoreline where it is, quite frankly. Credit where credit is due for this Pioneers side, because here we sit, 9 minutes to go in the third period. Season opener. Scoreline a little bit more lopsided than you'd like to see, but man, they're still hustling after every loose puck. Taylor, again, sticks out the paddle and pokes away a pass. Still forechecking, still chasing after every loose puck. I had a coach that once upon a time said, there are a couple of things you can't teach, tall and effort. And DU certainly embodying the latter portion of that statement here tonight. Switek on the move. Puck falls out into the neutral zone. Sharon. Bang one off the boards. Outlet pass, Wallace. Loses possession, and now Brennan. Against center red again. Great move with the body there. Held up play, looking for support. O'Leary twists Paulson around like a pretzel in her own zone. McDonald will chip that one in. And it's Paulson, the pressure, Sharon. She'll roll that up the far wing wall. Chisdak, 1-on-2 through the neutral zone, just possessed. Brennan looking for it in her skates. Chisdak and Katz in there for support as well. Now it's Paulson. Good last-ditch defending. O'Leary, an active stick, breaks up a 2-on-1. DU had to be careful there. Nearly too many out on the ice. Sowers to the front. Her wrists are blocked aside. Hardy has it knocked away by Zahn. Dances into space. Right wing circle. Taylor got a piece of that with her glove. The rebound backhanded east to west. Zahn will lay it off. Hardy intercepts it. Moravchik wants to go rink wide. McDonald pinched and picked off the pass. She's knocked to the ice. Moravchik. Hardy. She'll play that in off the near wing glass. DU will finish a partial change. Sherling on the forehand will roll that behind the CU net. Piatigorsky on the outlet. Now Mansour. Yeah, delayed offside here against CU. They have to touch up before they can forecheck. That'll allow Olsen to shove it as far as center red. Sullivan blows a tire behind her own net. McDonald sidesteps Switek and gets around Brennan. McDonald wants to go coast to coast. Left wing half wall. Loses possession. Furla tied up in the corner by Pekala. That one comes out in front. Ewald. The only goal of this third period scored by Ewald for CU, and now Brennan got it as far as the CU line. Grant, strong defending at her own blue line. Vaselli. Top of the left wing circle. Snapshot blocked by Sharon. Vaselli again. Loses possession. She'll have to retreat to her own blue line. Grant. Mazziello gets a piece. Top line for CU tonight, all three with a goal. As it so happened, it was Vaselli in the first, Mazziello in the second, and Ewald in the third. Pekala. Can't get that around Ewald. She'll back check and retrieve possession momentarily again. Board battle in front of the penalty box. Vaselli heels back on the forehand. Now Ewald has it knocked away by Hardy. Hardy wants to hit the outlet when Moravchik did so, but pass astride behind her. Pass, stick lift from behind. Now it's Bourbon and a right pass saved by Watson. Second effort off the base of the post. Bourbon again has a couple of options showing in the slot. Instead, it's knocked away. Terletska in pursuit. Nobody can locate the biscuit, and finally rolling it to the middle there was Aarons. O'Leary, Sherling down Broadway. Stick lifted from behind, and now Paulson. Opportunity here for Wallace across the DU line. Offside with 3:37 to go here in the third. And what has been our longest stretch of uninterrupted play in the third period. Went over 6 minutes there without a whistle. Icing wave. Mansour had her stick lifted before she could clear the puck. Now it's O'Leary. Dupuis. D to D gets it right back. Stretch pass through the neutral zone. Picked off by Swiatek. CU won all 4 meetings between these two teams last year, but not a one of them with a scoreline such as this. In fact, last year, Brennan here with the interception. Show weight top of the right wing circle and dispossessed by Keito. In fact, last year, the combined goal difference in the 4 meetings, CU was +8, let alone in just one. Glove saved by Taylor, and then swallowed up the rebound with Keaton on the doorstep. And an extra poke at the rebound in an 8-0 contest. Flares and frays, some tempers on the DU's side. Referees quickly separate everybody out, no one the worse for wear. McDonald. D to D with Sullivan. She'll hold the zone. Peckle up. Hardy. Breakout pass for Katz. Sullivan. Yeah, I was going to say, sure looked like it was offside. Didn't quite pass the eye test. I suppose that might give me a participation medal as an official tonight. 2:14 left in regulation. DU back in action next Friday. They'll take on Colorado State. Excuse me, we'll have that game for you here on Price Productions. Second game of the year for DU. Beat the Rams last year, so hopefully you flush this one out of the system, watch the tape, and get ready for game number 2 in a week's time. Moravchik goes rink wide. Watch out. Olsen will gather that up. She'll roll it out into the neutral zone. Feathered along by Bourbon. Furla down the left wing, gets around Sharon. Furla to the front. Mazziello dances, and there's Taylor again. '51 saves tonight for Lindsay Taylor. An excellent outing from the DU goaltender. Now all the way to the front, shot block. Mazziello, and there's Taylor again. Pass behind Ewald. And now on the other side, Zoe Watson trying to seal her shutout bid tonight. Traffic jam behind the DU net. Trying to kick it out of the board battle is Bourbon. Comes to Mazziello. Tries to hit Facelli. Facelli up the wall. McDonald, good work to keep it in at the left point. Now Ewald, high slot. Defended by O'Leary into the corner. Ewald throws it through. Tapped away from Facelli. One last push for the Pios. Bourbon turns on the Jets from the neutral zone. Watson out to make the save at the top of the blue paint with 5 seconds remaining. Oh, Zoe Watson, an offensive zone faceoff away from pitching a shutout in her season debut. Shizdak out for the draw, wins it back cleanly. And that will do it tonight at Magnus. The defending conference champions start with a statement on the road. 7 different goal scorers and a 17-save shutout for Zoe Watson put the Buffaloes in the win column. For DU, everyone making sure that the goaltender Lindsay Taylor gets a lot of love for her performance tonight. Again, it won't show in the box score. It won't show in the win-loss column, but 52 saves tonight for Lindsay Taylor. An excellent way for her to start the year, despite DU falling in the win column. The Pioneers fall to 0-1. The Buffaloes improve to 1-0 on the young season. Again, the first game for both of these sides here tonight. Now, DU in front of their home fans for the first time tonight. Falling 8-0, the final score. And again, a big thank you to everyone for tuning in here tonight. On behalf of Douglas Sheffield on camera tonight, our producer, Claire Kostelnik, a phenomenal job by the pair of them here tonight. Brendan Price on the call again. A big thank you for joining us here from Magnus Arena for the home opener here tonight for the Pioneers, who fall 8-0 to CU in the WWCHL Conference Opener. DU back in action in a week's time. They'll host Colorado State at Joy Burns Arena. Again, on behalf of everybody here tonight at Magnus, Brendan Price signing off. The final tally, 8-0. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night, and thanks again for tuning in to DU Women's Hockey.